My Pet Slime by Courtney Sheinmel. Chapter 1. Show and Tell. School was just okay today. After lunch, our teacher, Miss Serrato, called on Table A to do show and tell. There's a girl in my class named Claire who says show and tell is a little kid thing to do. We had it in kindergarten, but it stopped when we got to first grade. And we didn't do it in second grade either. Which just proves, according to Claire, that third grade is way too old for it. Claire is really popular. Kids always agree with her. Out loud, I agree with her too. Life is easier when you agree with Claire. But here's the truth. I secretly think that Claire is wrong about show and tell. Sure, little kids do it. But little kids do lots of things that older kids do, like they eat ice cream, they dangle their legs in the pool, they do art projects. Speaking of art projects, I do a lot of them. I'm practicing so that when I grow up, I'll be as good as Frida Kahlo and Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo. Their artwork is in museums all over the world. I want my artwork to be in museums one day too. Then Claire and everyone else will see my name in big letters on a shiny gold plaque. Piper McLean. But that's not the subject right now. The subject is show and tell and how I really do like it, even though I don't admit that out loud. Except today, I didn't like it so much. My friend Benny was the last person to share. He passed around a picture of his hamster. He told us some hamster facts, like, hamsters are very friendly. They store food in their cheeks to eat later. They need a lot of exercise, so it's good to put a wheel in their habitats. Another thing about hamsters is that I'm allergic to them. I'm also allergic to dogs, cats, rabbits, guinea pigs, gerbils, chinchillas. The list goes on and on. If it's cute and cuddly, then my eyes get teary and I can't stop sneezing. I'm not allergic to lizards or frogs or our class pet, Mr. Swimmers, who's an angelfish. But I want a pet that can sleep in my bed with me at night, not the kind that has to sleep in a tank. Benny was really happy about his hamster. I know I should be happy for him, but it's hard to be happy for someone when they have something that you want, but you can't have, even if that someone is your friend. Does the hamster have a name? Miss Serrato asked. Yep, Benny said. It's Ty, short for Tyrannosaurus Rex. I wanted him to have a big name because he's such a little guy. That's very thoughtful, Miss Serrato said. Why don't you call him Rex? Claire called out. Because I call him Ty, Benny said. I think it should be Rex, Claire said. Me too, Eleanor said. Me three, Beatrice said. See how everyone agrees with Claire? Well, Benny said. I could tell even Benny wanted to agree with her, but he didn't want to change his pet's name. Does anyone else have any questions? Miss Serrato asked. Theo raised his hand. Yes, Theo, Miss Serrato said. I have a cat named Charlie, Theo said. I have a rabbit named Cinnabunny, Diego said. I have 3 mice named Eenie, Meanie, and Mo, Izzy said. OMG, I have the best idea, Claire said. OMG means, oh my goodness, in case you didn't know. This whole week should be Pet Show and Tell Week, Claire said. Tomorrow, I'll bring in a picture of my dog, Buddy, and tell you about all the tricks he knows. Everyone else at Table B, bring pictures of your pets, too. These are comments, not questions, Miss Serrato said. I have a question, I said. Yes, Piper? What if you're at Table B, but you don't have a pet? Everyone has a pet, Beatrice said. Because we all have Mr. Swimmers. Anyone is welcome to bring whatever they want, okay, Piper? Miss Serrato said. Okay, I said.
All right, Miss Serrato said. Thank you, Benny. You may sit down now. And thank you, Table A. Table B, you're on for tomorrow.
Chapter 2. Slime time. After school, Dad picked me up. Some afternoons, Dad and I do things together, like going to the park or making homemade ice cream. But today, Dad said that he hadn't finished his words yet, so I needed to play quietly by myself. Dad writes books. Every day, he makes himself write a certain number of words before he's finished with work for the day. We have an extra bedroom in our house that Dad uses as an office. My mom is a lawyer. She doesn't have an office in our house. She has an office in a building, along with a lot of other people. I did my homework while Dad wrote his words. When I was done, I knocked on his office door.
Yes?
He called. I pushed the door open. I'm all done with my homework, I said.
I wish I was all done with my work,
Dad said. How many words do you have left? I asked.
Why?
Because if you don't have many, you'll get to stop soon, and we can play something together.
Sometimes even a few words can take a long time to write when I'm working on a difficult section,
Dad said.
You'll have to play on your own today, okay?
Okay, I said. I was feeling sad again. Not because Dad still had work, but because of my allergies. If I wasn't allergic, I could have a pet, and I'd never have to play alone. But allergies equals no pets. I decided to do an art project because art always cheers me up. Different artists use different materials for their work. Like Claude Monet used oil paints. Auguste Rodin used clay. Annie Leibovitz is a photographer, so she uses a camera. As for me, I like to work with slime. Yep, you read that right. Slime. Slime is the very best material of all. You can do so many different things with it. Stretch it, braid it, loop it, sculpt it. Unfortunately, I didn't have any fresh slime to work with. But I did have all the ingredients to make a new batch. Technically, I'm not supposed to make slime without Mom or Dad there to supervise. I thought about knocking on Dad's office door again, but I knew he still had work to do, so he probably wouldn't help. Besides, I didn't need his help. I've made slime with Mom and Dad so many times, and I know exactly what to do. You only need 3 ingredients. 1. Glue. 2. Baking soda. 3. Mom's contact lens solution. Oh, and one more ingredient. Food coloring. You don't need it to make the slime, but slime is really plain looking without it. It's like the color of a piece of drawing paper or a white t-shirt. I gathered everything up, along with a measuring cup and a bowl, and headed into my room. My stuffed animals were lined up on my bed. Claire probably thinks stuffed animals are babyish too, but she's wrong again. They're cute and cuddly, and you can have so many different species without being allergic to any of them. What time is it? I asked my stuffed animals. They didn't answer, but I answered for them. It's slime time! First, I squirted out the glue, then added the baking soda and the contact lens stuff. I'd forgotten a spoon, but that was okay. I mushed everything together with my hands, and presto! Fresh slime! I spent a few more minutes mushing it around. I love the feeling of slime. It's so soft and squishy. It's too bad there isn't a pet that has slime for fur. That would definitely be the perfect pet for me. What would my perfect slime pet look like? Well, first of all, it would be purple, because purple is my favorite color. I pulled off a big hunk of slime and squeezed in a drop of red food coloring and then a drop of blue. I mushed it all together and voila! I had a blob of purple slime. I shaped it into a kitten-sized animal, but my slime pet was too round to really be a kitten. I gave it big eyes, a little mouth, and 2 arms that were on the small side, but still long enough for hugs. Oh, it was so cute. Cute and perfect. Well, not quite perfect. Perfect pets are alive. They roll over, play fetch, and lick your face with kisses. Slime pets can't do any of that. I wish you were real, I said, patting my pet's slimy head. If you were real, you'd be as friendly as Benny's hamster and do tricks like Claire's dog. But you're just slime.
Hey, Piper,
Dad called.
I'm all finished.
I heard his footsteps coming up the hallway toward my room. The problem was, my room looked kind of messy. Okay, fine. It looked very messy. I couldn't let Dad come inside. I ran to the door and opened it just as he got there.
Hey, what's going on?
He asked. Nothing, I said. Absolutely, positively nothing. He said. He tried to peek inside. No, don't, I said. I'm trying to clean it up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I said. I'm in the mood to clean. I'm actually going to get the vacuum cleaner.
Do you want my help?
Dad asked. Nope, I want to do it all by myself.
All right then, he said. You do that and I'll get started on dinner.
Chapter 3. Surprise, surprise. Here's something that shouldn't be true, but it is. It's always way easier to make a mess than to clean it up. You'd think it'd be about the same, but it's not. Before I was even half finished cleaning, I heard Dad calling me again.
Piper, come here. Mom's home and she has a surprise guest with her.
I love surprise guests, and I really wanted it to be a certain surprise guest. See you later, I told my slime pet, and I ran out of my room. I didn't want to get my hopes up, because the surprise guest could have been anyone, like one of Mom's work colleagues. They're mostly nice, but also mostly boring. The surprise guest I wanted it to be is the opposite of boring, and my hopes were already up about it being her. That's the thing about your hopes. They go up all on their own. You can't stop them. And luckily, it was just who I wanted. Grandma Sadie! I cried. Pipsqueak. Grandma Sadie lives an hour away from us, which isn't really that far, but she travels a lot for her job, so we don't get to see her much at all. She doesn't have a regular job, by the way. She works for Astroblast Explorers. I'm sure you've heard about it, because it's very famous. But, just in case you haven't, the job of an Astroblast Explorer is to explore things, obviously. In the old days, there were people who explored the different parts of the Earth. The Astroblast Explorers explore things in space. I gave Grandma Sadie a big hug. I thought you weren't coming back for 6 more months.
I had an unexpected trip home for a couple of days,
Grandma Sadie said.
Is this your wow for the day?
Dad asked me. Every day, Dad asks me about my wow and pow. Wow means the best thing that happened to you all day, and pow means the worst thing. Oh yes, I said. Grandma Sadie is such a big wow, I don't even remember my pow.
You want to see the surprise I brought you?
Grandma Sadie asked. Yes, please, I said.
Oh, Mother,
Mom said.
You don't need to bring Piper a present every time you visit. Your presence is present enough. Right, Pipe?
Yes, of course, I said. And I meant it, but as long as Grandma Sadie had already brought a present, I should get to see it, right? Grandma Sadie's presents were always unusual. She didn't knit me sweaters or sneak me candy like other kids' grandmas. Not even close. Instead, one time she gave me a package of special space meals. Spaghetti and meatballs and ice cream sandwiches. They came in plastic bags with all the air sucked out of them. Another time, she brought me a weird black rock with swirls in it. It was made of lava from Mars.
Piper, go fetch my bag,
Grandma Sadie said.
It's by the front door.
Coming right up, I said. I ran to the front door. Grandma Sadie's bag was big and shiny, like a pillow covered in aluminum foil. It was heavy, too. I half carried, half dragged it back to her.
Thank you, Pipsqueak,
Grandma Sadie said. She snapped it open and mumbled as she dug around inside. Let's see. I was so excited. I felt my heart starting to beat harder. Would I get a comet rock? Or a drop of diamond rain from Jupiter? Or maybe a piece of Saturn's ring? Whatever it was definitely coming with me to show and tell tomorrow.
Here,
Grandma Sadie said. She held the present out to me. Chapter 4.